My friends, in the rideshare business, I always say, you know what, follow the money. Figure out where in your city, in your neighborhoods, in what shifts you will make the most money and then stick to that pattern, right? And you know what, that was once upon a time when surges were great. You'd make a lot of money at an event, at a concert, peak hours, after work, before work, around airports. You could truly, truly follow the money. Today, I find it's difficult. It's rather challenging to implement that same formula that used to make us a lot of cash, right? Just recently, as you know, in Washington, D.C. and Arlington, a whole bunch of drivers were busted, because they figured out how to truly follow the money because they were manipulating the surge. And whether you think it's right or not, they basically said, hey, listen up, Uber. We've had enough of your games and shenanigans. You've literally been taking $20 note after $20 note after $20 note out of our pocket. So now it's our time to get paid, and we're going to figure out how to make more money on your platform. And I get it. I truly understand how and why these drivers, acted in this fashion. But coming back to the statement, following the money in the rideshare business, it is very, very difficult to make ends meet on the basic UberX platform. You will see me over and over again pushing the UberX categories and even pushing the higher categories like XUV or Lux, but adding a private limo license. Could be a TNC or a TCP license, right? It's basically a charter permit. You got to figure out and follow the money in this game, what works for you. I certainly did that for myself. I truly found the formula and still always follow the money, and it hasn't let me down. But that's because I walked away from patterns, categories, and cars that just didn't work for me, right? There is no reason, if you're starting up in this game, to buy a brand new car. I wouldn't do it. I'd go out and buy a minivan with 80, 100,000 miles, right? That can comfortably do 250 to 300,000 miles if you replace it with synthetic oil every 5,000 miles. If you do the brakes, you'll get a lot of mileage out of a good Toyota Sienna. That to me is following the money. That to me is figuring out how to maximize your profits, right? I can also tell you that you cannot rely on tips in those categories like UberX. The people are rather stingy. They don't give. But the moment you move into those upper categories, you can rely and follow the money and follow the tips, because those type of passengers and clients, they tip. Whether they're private clients, whether they're Uber or Lyft, SUV or Lux clients, they do tip. So to figure out how to follow the money in this game, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. It might just mean changing things up a little. Hey, this is my current scenario and it's not working out for me. Rideshare Professor, what do I do? The amount of calls, the amount of emails that I get daily where the people are trying to figure out how to follow the money, how to get bills paid, how to, at the end of the month, still make a profit so that they can put money aside. I get those type of inquiries every single day. I have those conversations with newbies and veterans every single day. I want to say that my formula that I teach, the formula that I do for myself, still works to this very day, right? I do understand that both Uber and Lyft are cutting more and more into, my profits on the trips, right, into my fares. They're taking more and more, over 50% in fact, right? So again, you have to readjust and follow the money. So what do? Maybe I need to do more private trips and work out a new ratio. For me right now, it's probably like a 60 to 70% private trips, 30 to 40% on Uber and Lyft, SUV or Lux, right? That is how I now follow the money. I always make adjustments, and I always help you make those adjustments. So do feel free to reach out to me. Share with me how many trips you've done. Share with me in what city you drive. Share with me what category you're placed in, or categories. Do you drive on one platform? Do you drive on Uber and Lyft on 2 platforms? Do you perhaps even drive on 3 platforms? Charter, permit, privates, Uber and Lyft, right? So let's look at your data. Let's look at your stats and make some adjustments. What shifts do you drive? How many hours do you put in per week, right? What are your gas bills? What were your gas bills with X and now with XL? What were your gas bills with XL and now that you stepped up maybe to Lux and bought a Mercedes S550, right? So share that data with me so we can really figure out the formula where you end up making the most profits. I'm good at that, and I've helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people just fine-tune their formula so that they can start following more money. I wish you a great day. Rideshare Professor here. We do love the Benjamins. I put a huge heart around that. Why? Because it does enable us to do things. Holidays, pay for, meals, the rent, the payment on the car, the payment on the house, the schooling, all of those costs, right? So if we are doing well, we can afford things and we can grow. If not, we're going backwards. If we feel like we're going backwards, we have to adjust the formula and follow the money. Have a wonderful day.